Hi guys, this is Karan here from Headphone Zone, and in today's video I'll be talking about Sony's latest Walkman series audio player, the NW-A306. So in January, Sony released two of the latest Walkman series players, the first being the NW-ZX707, which is the flagship amongst the two, and the one that I'm going to be talking about today is the NW-A306. Now Sony, if you would have followed them as a brand, the Walkman series is one of the most iconic products. In the 90s, when the first Walkman was released, it really revolutionized the way people consume music, and the effects of those Walkman series or those particular devices are still reflected today in the way we consume music. Now, with the release of these two players, and especially the A306, what Sony has done is they've really invested a lot in the digital signal processing and also increased the battery life so that you, the user, can get the best listening experience possible in the most portable form factor ever. Alright, so let's talk about the Sony NW-A306 player. Now this is an audio player that's really designed for the discerning audiophile or a music enthusiast who really want to experience the music at the highest quality possible. Now if you look at the design, this is a fairly compact device, but the amount of technology and the amount of engineering that has gone into it is just phenomenal. Now off the top of my head, the one thing that I really want to talk about is the DSEE Ultimate engine that has been embedded into this player. Now what this essentially is, it's a digital signal enhancement engine. Now what it simply does, to put it into simpler words, is it upscales your compressed audio files, and it really reproduces the entire frequency range and the dynamic response quite faithfully. Now say for an example, if you were to listen to an MP3 file and have this DSEE Ultimate engine enabled, you're gonna hear the difference between the original and the upscaled version. Now we do not encourage or recommend you to listen to music on MP3 files, but if you so have to do so, do enable the DSEE engine. But in either case, we highly recommend you listen to your music in high-res or lossless quality for the best experience. Now there's another technology that's present in the A306 Walkman player, is something called the Clear Audio Plus feature. Now this is also sort of an upscaling feature within this player, but when combined with the S Master HX amplifier on this device, what this really does, it reduces the distortion within the music or while you're listening to your music to a bare minimum. This is, when enabled, this really drops down to a level where it's not audible at all, and this really elevates the music listening experience. Now as I mentioned about the S Master HX amplification stage on this, now this is quite capable, and I've tried to pair a lot of IEMs and some of the easier to drive headphones, and I've had no problems whatsoever in driving them. Now this is an amplification that allows you to push your IEMs and get the best from them while also maintaining the clarity within your music. There is literally no amount of digital distortion that's been introduced, and this is a great thing. Alright, so if I were to talk about the user experience on this player, it is fantastic. The A306 comes bundled with the Android 12 operating system, and with this, the operating experience on this device becomes really smooth. Now it also comes with a dedicated Walkman player. Now what this player does is allows you to play locally stored files through this particular player. Now there's one very nostalgic element to this player. So when you're playing a particular track, you can enable a wallpaper that literally gives you a visual of a cassette playing, and this is quite nostalgic to people who've owned a Walkman. Another thing that I personally really like is the tactile buttons on the side. Now this is also something directly borrowed from the original Walkman, and without even starting the player or putting the screen on, you can play your music, pause your music, you can skip on to the next track, or you can really move back onto a track that you heard prior. Now this is really good, and it really gives a very tactile feel. Another thing that I would really like to mention is the build quality of this player is really good. It's made out of aluminium, and another special thing about the internals is what the engineers at Sony have done is, instead of using common metals for the soldering, what they've done is they've used gold as the soldering element, and that really helps the conductivity within the player to reach a different height. Now what this essentially means is your audio is going to be as clean as possible. Alright, so talking about the storage, this player comes with an internal storage of 32 gigs. So right off the bat you can start operating it, you can download a bunch of your favorite streaming apps, and you can even load some of your offline files. If you so happen to run out of space, what you can do is you can load up an external SD card with the slot provided, and there you have all your offline files in one single place. Now, one thing that I really want to talk about, and something that Sony has really emphasized, is the battery life. Now, I've been using this player for over a week now, and I've managed to get almost over a day's worth of music listening, and I've been streaming music, I've been listening to offline files, and I've not had any problems in terms of battery. Now, considering the fact that I've been using this on Wi-Fi, I've been connecting it, and I've been using and listening to a lot of high-res files, 24 hours plus battery life is really great. I really don't think so there are any audio players out there that really promise to give you a battery life like this one. Alright, so now what I really want to do is talk about some commonalities and some differences between the NW-A306 and the NW-ZX707. Now, a lot of the things or the technologies between both the players are in common, like the DSEE Ultimate Engine, a bunch of the amplification circuitry, they're all in common. But where these two players really are different from each other is the screen size. Of course, that the 707 is a bigger 5 point something inches screen, while this is a 3.6 inches screen. The other thing that you get in the 707 is a 4.4 mm balance connection. Now this one only has a 3.5 connection, but with the DSEE and the Clear Plus engine, you're really not gonna miss out on the best music experience that you could get. So, having spoken about all the features and what the NW-A306 has to offer, if you were to ask me my honest opinion, I have literally no complaints with this audio player. This is a player that delivers every single thing that it promises, and the one thing that it really excels in is the audio listening experience. There are very few audio players that deliver the kind of hassle-free, bloat-free experience that this player does. Now, this is, as I mentioned, the perfect upgrade for a beginner, or even for someone who wants to, take that listening experience to the next level. And with everything that it offers, with the digital enhancement features, with the long battery life, with the sturdy build, this is just perfect. And if you're someone who's looking for your next device to take your listening experience to the next level, this is it. Just go for it without thinking twice. So, having said that, if you would like to try the NW-A306, you're more than welcome to drop by at our experience studio, and you could even drop by at a Connect happening at a city near you. So that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.